what I won't do for sweepstakes. And that's how you should think about it when you are entering, whether it be mail-in, radio, or what we're talking about tonight, which is creative contests. My name's Carolyn. I'm known as the contest queen, and I've helped others win millions of dollars in cash and prizes. And I was a little bit behind setting up because I spent half the day looking for certain creative giveaways, examples of winning, and I couldn't find them. So the creators have either taken them down or I'm not looking in the right place. And of course, today we didn't go to McDonald's first thing in the morning. So this is day 21. Gotta do it. So, and I'm gonna film it for TikTok over here. So this is day 20 of the McDonald's giveaway. Can you imagine if I pulled a rare piece while I was on the air? That would be something. No, but I did win a cheeseburger. I won a cheeseburger and Baffin Island. So there you go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. And yes, I count everything because I posted a video today about dry spells. And I had a couple of sweepy friends message me and talk about their dry spells. And yes, keep going. It'll eventually end. And someone said, well, I haven't won anything in a long time, but should I count the McDonald's prizes? And I'm like, yes, you need to count the McDonald's prizes. They are prizes. I keep a spreadsheet and I count everything. Everything from a free cup of coffee that I win right through to the big prizes. Because a win is a win is a win. And now you may have bigger gaps between big prizes, like a trip here and a car there, but a win is a win is a win. And so if you start tracking them, you'll be amazed at how much you actually win. And the reason I started keeping a spreadsheet was I had been entering for about 3 years. And someone said to me, how much have you won? And I thought, I don't know. And I used to think I haven't won anything in a while. Again, the dry spell. And I would, oh dear, it looks like this isn't on Facebook. Jiminy Crickets. Don't you love? It's not playing on Facebook. Oh, well, it's just on YouTube and Instagram. Anyway, leave your comments and we'll figure out what's happening with Facebook later. And that is the problem with technology. I follow the rules and Facebook still doesn't work. Laura says, oh, she got so much food from McDonald's. Oh. I know, right? I've actually given some to people. And anyway, yeah, so it's good. Anyway, a cup of tea. Always love my tea. I wouldn't be doing coffee this late at night. Oh my God, I'd never sleep. For some reason, tea doesn't bother me. Actually, it's still got the bag in. We're going to take the bag out. And there we go. And, oh yeah. This is hot. This is really hot. And what we won't do to win, right? We got to have that. Yeah. Captain Billy J says, not Facebook. For some reason, the StreamYard to Facebook didn't work. I'm wondering if I just can't go live and add it now. Live video. I'm not sure how to do this. Let's see if we can. I'll go back. Yeah, I'd have to restart it. And that would cut this off. So not sure what's happening with Facebook and why people have been having problems with StreamYard lately. But the reason I love StreamYard is because I can do Facebook and YouTube and Instagram all at the same time. So that's why people do that. So we'll see. My phone, my wrist is buzzing. I think people are messaging me to tell me that I'm not on Facebook. Anyway, it is what it is. So and I have some questions that people wanted answered, but first I want to see if I can show this video. Let me see here if it's media assets. Let me see if I can add this. I downloaded the video, at least I thought I did. No, it won't let me download. So let me see if I can just share my screen. And, oh, wait, it did go. Where did it go? What folder? It's supposed to be in downloads. There it is. Okay, let me just see if I can show you guys this video, because it's really cool. Oh, it's not letting me pull it up. So I might have to try the screen share. Oh, video, maybe it, it's not letting me add it. Okay, so let's see if I can do the screen share. And oh, let me try this way. Let me see if it'll pull it up this way. Here we go. Now, this is a very good example.
Blue Jay Spirit, some fans think it's just having some Blue Jay memorabilia. Blue Jay Spirit means so much more than that. It means being connected no matter what you're doing. Yes, Blue Jays win! Woohoo! Blue Jay Spirit's also wearing Blue Jays colors no matter where you're going.
Hey bud, you ready for Kelly's wedding?
Absolutely. It's critiquing your own cheering to become a better fan. Let's go! No, I gotta go. Let's go, Blue Jays! Yeah, that's much better. What's Blue Jay's spirit? It's many things, but it's Blue Jay everything. It's heart on my sleeve, jersey on my body, win or lose, no matter what. You'll always see my Toronto Blue Jay spirit cheering on at the top of my lungs. Let's go, Blue Jays!
Well, I didn't expect it to start so quickly, but that was my friend Matthew. Now, what's really interesting is he filmed that video in 2017. You know, there's been creative contests forever. I mean, Helene Hatzel used to do them with her prose. And if you watch the prize winner of Defines Ohio's, those ladies were always coming up with something. And that was back in the day. And they're making a comeback with, you know, the videos and the pictures and the recipes. They never went away. So he filmed that in 2017, and it finally won him a big prize. He submitted it recently because if you've seen the news, the Blue Jays are in the World Series, and it's been a hot minute, 32 years. I actually had World Series tickets the last time they made a run, and they went to Game 7, and then they were going to be in the World Series, and I actually got tickets for Game 1, and then they didn't make it into the World Series, so I got my money back. Oh, well. That was the closest I got to going to a World Series game. Anyway, he had that. He submitted it, and he won the fan contest, and he got to go to Game 1, and they had a hotel room, and he was showing us that the rooms were going for $10,000 a night, and he had like swag and spending money, and they had food delivered, and it was a huge prize. We're probably worth like 15 grand for this prize, and they got to see Game 1 of the World Series. So it was an amazing, and it was him, and he took his dad. So he's just made memories. That's the great thing about this hobby. First of all, not in a budget, and now him and his dad have this memory for a lifetime. So that's what's really great about this hobby. So let me just go back to the chat. Yeah, it's really cute. Now I want to talk about the other creative contest because I couldn't find the videos. Now I can't remember which convention we were at, but Tom Cavalli of I Win Contests had won $10,000 in a trip to New York. And it was a pet contest. And he showed us the video, and I thought it was still on his feed. I can't find it, but you know how these social media feeds are. Sometimes they're not super friendly. Anyway, so it's either there and I couldn't find it, or he took it down. But he did a video where Roscoe got married, and he said when he was creating this giveaway, this entry for this giveaway, he had this idea because at one point he had won a replica. So there was a company that did stuffies, like stuffed animals, but based on pictures of your pets. And so you'd have a stuffy of your pet. So he had a Roscoe, a real Roscoe, and a stuffy Roscoe. So he dressed the stuffy Roscoe up as a bride. And poor Roscoe, he's terrified. Tom dresses him up and the dog freezes, which is kind of good for this. And so the dog freezes, and he put them both. He went out and just bought one of those he found it on like Facebook Marketplace or something. And he bought one of these used children's cars that are remote. And he put the two in there and had like just married and everything on the back. So he did this whole scenario and he filmed all these parts. And he submitted it and he won. But he was also looking at the competition, and people weren't putting any effort in. You know, they were just putting in pictures of their dog or a little video of the dog playing. There was no real creativity to them, or they were poorly lit, or the sound wasn't good. So if you're going to do these creative contests, there's big prizes to be won, but you have to have some forethought. You have to have and you can practice. You may not win the first few that you enter, but the more you do it, this is why being on social media like TikTok and Instagram and YouTube on a regular basis, just posting videos gets you practice for speaking quickly, getting to the point, learning to edit, using the features within the program, whether you use something like CapCut or TikTok itself to edit, or Instagram to edit, or you even have something like Movie Maker or another. I do not know all the different video editing programs, but there's lots of them. If you get practice that doing just your regular videos, when a creative one comes along, you already know how to do a fade and a jump cut and all these different things, or show this scene and then you want to go into that scene. And Matthew said on that particular video I just showed, he really worked hard on it, and you could see the effort he put in. You could see that he went down to the stadium when there was a game, so the crowd was there. He filmed at different times of day. He filmed at his office. Probably he came in really early when there was no one around, or he stayed super late one night to get those shots in. And so he planned it out. So it took a while. If you find a creative giveaway, start planning right away, and don't leave it till the last second to enter, because if you have, unless that's when you find it and you can get your entry, and I mean, don't not enter because it's the last minute. But if there's if you have to upload it somewhere and there's any technical difficulties, you have some time to figure it out. So yeah, see, Laura says she won her local photography contest last year. It was a nice surprise. So she also has a skill, obviously, and a good eye, and she can use that to her advantage. So if the other thing I noticed, so there was one company here that always does Italian dishes, right? It's a pasta company, and they're always like, here's all these dishes, make one of these dishes using our pasta and submit your photo. The winner always has a professional looking photo. They've plated the pasta beautifully. They've got the box in the back. The lighting is really good. You have to think like a marketer. You have to think like a marketer. Like, what is the company, like if you win, right, and they are going to put your photograph or your video on their social media, like, how do you want to see it? So yes, you do want to look like a real person. You don't want to look like a bot or something. They like real people winning, but you also want it to be as good as you can get it so that they would be proud to show it on their socials. And that has something to do with it. So Tom to put in all this effort, and he also looked at the competition. So he knew where the bar was, and it was easy for him to take it to the next level. So then the marketing agency or the sponsor themselves are looking at these entries, and it's like, it's almost a no-brainer. Well, we'll pick this one for first. So he won, $10,000 cash and a trip to New York, and Roscoe had to stay home. Poor Roscoe. He won them the money, and then he didn't get to go. But he got doggy treats and things, so he's fine. And then Danielle, who's known as the winning mom, now she tells this story when I interviewed her, and then unfortunately we had she lost internet and she got crackly, and then I had to stop the interview because I lost her. And I couldn't find her video, but it was a few years ago, and she won $10,000. It was a Super Bowl, a toilet bowl contest. And so it was after the Super Bowl, they held it. And you basically had to show what happened in your toilet bowl. Well, people took it literally and were taking pictures of their poop and uploading it to, I think it was on Twitter. And she was mortified. So she messaged the company and she says, because it was video or photo. And she said, do you have to actually use real poop? And they're like, no. So she found a recipe for poop on Nickelodeon because, fake poop. There's like peanut butter and corn and all these things in it. And so what she did was she got her husband involved, and she was basically running around the house trying to use, he was running around the house trying to use the washroom, and every room he tried to go into, it was busy, like every toilet. And then he spies the toddler's, toilet, and he sits on that, and you see him, she catches him pulling his pants up, and then she zooms in and it's all a fake poop. And it was so creative because she's chasing him around the house as he's trying to, with the cameras, he's trying to find a bathroom that's unoccupied, and they're all busy. And so she won $10,000. And again, she checked out the competition. They're taking pictures of actual poop. The sponsor is not going to put that on their website. Like, Cynthia says, I like skilled ones. I got better using my camera and holder so they aren't shaky. Yeah, and also check your settings on your phone, because sometimes there's an anti shake feature you can turn on, so there's less shake right in the phone. And then, she said, I got a gimbal. Yeah, I have a gimbal too. I need to charge it. It's over there. I need to go on the gimbal's website, like it's a DJI, and I need to go on there and master the art of using it, because I don't think I'm using it properly, because it doesn't follow me the way it's supposed to. So clearly, I don't believe it's the gimbal. I believe it's operator error. So I need to learn that. So yeah. Oh yeah. She also suggested a tripod. That's a good idea. Yeah. I have multiples. I have this one. I ordered another one. This camera that I'm filming on is on a tripod. I'll move this down here so I don't knock it over. Oh, that's wobbly. That's good. Put it down there. And you need the tools. So you need, a decent camera or GoPro. It depends on what you're doing, but most people do it on their phone. And the phones are good. Just make sure you clean your camera. I always have eyeglass. Well, clearly, right? You've seen me. So I live in eyeglasses, right? So I have 1,000 of these white. Clean your cell phone cameras front and back with an eyeglass cleaner, and it'll make sure that your pictures are really clear. So we had some questions regarding this, so I'm going to answer them first. So Riley messaged me and said, okay, I have a question. Any tips for finding these contests or any other creative contests in Canada These are my favorites, but I struggle finding them. Google Alerts doesn't seem to be helping. So the first thing I would do is I would use your sweepstakes aggregate. So in Canada, we only have 3. We're down to 3. And you're going to search. I did some testing before this live. So go in and you're going to search for words like fan, submit, photo, pic, like PIC is in picture, or the whole word picture, video. And it, depending on the aggregate, you're going to get different results. But I was finding creative contests like show us your best fan photo, things like that. You can also look for full words like recipe, photography, things like that. And different words that a company might use to do that. I don't think the creative contests are as frequent or large as they are in the US. I don't see as many. And currently I'm so busy, I'm not entering them. So if you're finding them, make sure you enter them. Also, a lot of companies do it annually. Like the Pasta Company, they do a creative contest like every year. And I think the prize is a trip to Italy. So if you go back and find the archives of certain companies, you might find a trend, and then you can just subscribe to the newsletter to those companies. And then you will be notified when they host their big giveaways. Because I do subscribe to the Pasta newsletter, and I do get notified when they're having their creative giveaways. So if they're repeating promotions, that's another thing you can do. Like I know McDonald's just came back in the US, but this is an annual giveaway in Canada. And it always starts in October. And Tim Hortons always has one every year. And it used to be in February, and then it was moved to March. And I don't know if they're still moving it back and forth. Let's see. I entered a skill contest on TikTok for Redken. The person they picked didn't post both hashtags. I reached out directly and telling them they didn't follow their rules. They have ignored me. Oh, yes, that is very frustrating when they don't follow their own rules. And unfortunately, there is nothing you can do about it. Yeah, it's very annoying. And the problem is it's behind the scenes, and they don't care because the marketing people are like, yeah, we picked a winner. Next. A lot of companies, they don't check, right? They're like, oh, you need to use both hashtags. And then they are like, oh, this entry's so good. And they don't even notice that they didn't use both hashtags. I bet you they didn't even notice. Now it depends on how they pick the winner, because when I was working for some agencies and we did hashtag contests, we were using a software, an online sweepstakes company, like WooBox, but it wasn't WooBox, it was a different one. And you go in, you log into the account, and you say you're drawing for the hashtags, and you tell it between this date and these hashtags. And then it goes and it pulls every entry. So if your account was private, it won't see it and it wouldn't pull it. And I remember checking one time because I wanted to make sure it worked. So I did a test before the final draw. And I knew one of my sweepy friends had entered, and I didn't see her entry. So I messaged her. I'm like, hey, I see your entry. When I look at your account, it's not pulling up. She says, then she realized her account was private. And I'm like, well, you're not in the draw because it can't see you. So that was good for me to learn. Oh yeah, if your account's private, you're not in, because the crawlers aren't finding you. So you have to have a public Instagram account. You have to have public social accounts. So if you don't want your family and friends to see you, set up one just for entering. and make it public. And it just makes it easier all around. And so we would pull. So if they had done it that way and put in the 2 hashtags and it pulled all the entries, that entry wouldn't have come in because it wouldn't have been filtered as part of the qualifying entries. So they probably didn't have a ton, or they had enough that it was easy for them to look, and they just picked one they liked. That's annoying. Oh yeah, Sutter Home has run the same contest for 35 years. Build a better burger. Yeah, the creative contests, like we had one in Canada for Tim Hortons, create a donut, and then it went to the top 3 flavors, and then everybody could vote on them, and then that winner got their donut in stores and they won a cash prize. But you had to be really creative, but also something everybody would eat. So it was judged and then voted on. I think to encourage voting, what companies should do is they should have all the voters register, and then they draw prizes from the voters. So people will actually come and vote for the promotions because they're in to win too. And then Burger King, I think their voting is on now. They have the 3 burgers that were submitted and then judged and then posted for that. So that's interesting. Let me just pop over to Instagram to see if there was any questions that I may have missed as I was talking. Oh, Rita says, wow, this really is the best hobby. 100%. Oh, which pasta company, Rita wants to know? Barella. They do it every year. You can win. Now I've lost my stream here. Oh, here we are. I don't like public votes. Too many influencers who have millions to vote for them. Yeah, that's a whole nother kettle of fish. I mean, I've done this where voting contests, right? You submit, and then the one that gets the most votes wins. And that could be the worst entry, but it just happens to get the most votes. But what I'm talking about, Cynthia, is, they had hundreds and hundreds of entries into the Tim Hortons giveaway. And then the judges picked 3. So the 3 they could have picked could have been from people that have like 3 friends. They have no influence. And they all just rely on the public. So it's, it's going to be interesting to see who wins the Burger King contest. I wonder who won the Tim Hortons donut contest. Let me look. Let me see if there's a winner. And I think the Burger King is going to, it was Battle of the Donuts. It was $10,000 prize. Oh, it was narrowed down this month. I wonder if they've picked a winner, because it said it was narrowed down for October. Battle of the Donuts. Yeah, it ended July 4th. And oh, page not found. Do you think they would keep the page up to show who won? Like, why would you remove the contest page? That doesn't make any sense. See, that's the other thing. I don't understand why companies take things down. It doesn't take up that much space. You leave it up for 6 months or a year so people can see that somebody won. Because one of the things I get all the time is one of the things agencies say to me when I talk to them is they're like, how do we get more people to enter? And I'm like, well, people don't think you're actually giving out a prize. They think it's a scam. And the reason they think it's a scam is because they never see any winners. these companies should leave that up. Hey, Bob won with his strawberry shortcake donut. He was voted number one. I think that was one of them. Something like, he won whatever, and leave it up. And so that when people search or they see it, oh yeah, somebody actually won it. I got an email. I've got to do a video on this from McDonald's today showing people who won, and listed this person won $25,000. This person, and those were finding the rare pieces, I can tell. So that's interesting. Yeah, it is interesting to see. Okay, let's go back to the questions. So that was the one. So I hope, Riley, that I answered your question, but just do searches for keywords in creative contests and see if you can find them that way. Also, maybe now it's harder to find them on, I don't know what Google alerts you're doing, but Judged is a good one. Voting, I know we just talked about that. Using those keywords might help narrow down the Google searches, Google alerts, or maybe just do the searches and say within like the last week. Okay, Harmony, this isn't creative, but it is, it is a sweepstakes Q&A. We're allowed to talk about other sweepstakes questions. And can you tell me what you do when tagging people in Instagram contests when it says tag a friend, but doesn't specify multiple tags equals multiple entries? I often see many of my contest friends tagging multiple people when the rules are vague. I don't want to disqualify myself. What do you do? Thanks, Harmony. Depends on what the prize is. Normally, I would just enter once, because when a company's using like a sweepstakes company like WooBox, and they go in and they're drawing from the comments, there's a comment section. You can say, okay, here's the post, pick a winner, and from the comments, you can click a thing that says remove duplicate entries. So if you're saying enter once and people are entering over and over and over again, you could just eliminate all their extra entries with one click. So usually I just enter once. If it's a super good prize and I see everybody's entering multiple times, I might put in like 3 to 5, knowing very well my extra ones might be kicked out. But I don't do like 20 or 100. Like the people that do 100 all the time, I have no idea where they have the time to do that. That's a lot. So that's what I do, because I assume they're using a comment picker. Because there's no way when you have 10,000 entries that you're going to be able to pick. Right? Like you have to be using a software program that's going to help you do that. Do you do the sweepstakes that has unlimited entries? Usually not now. When I have time and I'm entering all the time, there was some movie ones that always had unlimited entries. I would just enter once a day. And actually, now that you said that, there is one radio one that I do that has, you can enter every hour. And I enter maybe twice a week. So, because still it only takes one to win. But that's pretty much, I mean, if you can enter 24 times a day, every day, to me, that's pretty much unlimited. But yeah, I don't focus on those. I prefer the better odds ones. That's why I want to talk about the creative ones, because last year at this time, our Canadian Thanksgiving is the second weekend in October, and we were away. George was fishing this year, So we didn't have Thanksgiving, and I was busy because I'm trying to get ahead with all my writing for Contest Queen and Words for Wit. Like, I have so many projects in the air, so it was great because I could just sit in here and work and not and just catch up. And now I'm actually getting ahead, which is kind of exciting because I've been writing newsletters. I'm writing newsletters right well into the new year, like till March. So then they'll just go out, and I can focus on actually getting projects done. But last year we smoked our bird, and it's amazing. We have he has a Traeger pellet smoker, and we do this whole process, and we cook it, and we learned from the year before that you don't leave it in the pan at the end because the bottom's soggy. And so for the last like half hour, he takes it like right out of the pan and puts it on. And meanwhile, you can take the pan in and make the gravy while the turkey's still cooking. And then the oven's free, so you can do like all the things in the oven, and the house hasn't been heated since 8 a.m. So the house isn't super hot. The only downside to doing all that is the house does not smell like turkey, but you can smell it when you go outside. It's fine. And last year it was the next day, and I thought, oh my God, I didn't take a single picture. Not me making the pie or any of the sides or the turkey, nothing. I didn't film any of it. I didn't take pictures of any of it. And sure enough, come Christmas, they're like, show us your best bird recipes. I had nothing. I could have had it 8 weeks earlier. Now, Americans have Thanksgiving coming up in about 4 weeks, roughly, give or take a week. Film the whole thing. Film the whole thing. Film it and take pictures. Do both. Of the whole process, getting the bird, thawing the bird, stuffing the bird, putting the bird in the oven, getting it halfway through. Because if you put together a video, it could be like 2-second clips, right? Almost like a time lapse of the whole. We must have scored. I just heard George out of the living room going, yippee! This is very funny. Yeah, and there was a ton. That was the other thing I wanted to mention. Because Toronto got into the World Series, suddenly there was a flood of sports giveaways. So if you're near a major, what they call a major market, like New York, Chicago, Miami, Tampa, like any place, Nashville, LA, Oakland, San Fran, like any city that has sports teams of any kind, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, you name it. We even have a lacrosse league. The Toronto Rocks. I've won tickets. Then you'll notice if there's events or opening day or, in baseball, they have the All-Star game, going to the Stanley Cup. I've been entering to go to the Super Bowl. There's always giveaways around those. And so watch your sports teams. On my phone, I have the apps. Every team has an app. There's an app for that. Every team has an app, and there's always a giveaway section to win tickets, to win swag, to win experiences, all that kind of stuff. And so make sure you download those. And a lot of them, since we're talking about creative contests, have fan giveaways. I won tickets to the Toronto Maple Leafs because when I first started dating George, he had a strange blue living room with Toronto Maple Leaf memorabilia up. And I thought, I'm not living in a man cave. So he painted it dove gray. And actually, I think it's that most popular color called like Silently Gray or something by Sherwin-Williams. And a lot of the designers are like, stop using that color. Anyway. I said, well, I had the idea. I thought, oh, it'll be nice and bright in here to film. It turned out to be a bad idea for working. But I made him buy the official Toronto Maple Leafs blue and paint 2 walls blue and 2 walls white. Because tip, if you're a huge sports fan, if you go to Home Depot, they have the official colors of all the teams. So you can have like the Green Bay Packer yellow and the Calgary Flames red, or the exact New York Yankees, black. Like you can get the exact shade of Pantone or whatever they use. And so you can paint your room. So then we took all that memorabilia and we put it around. It does come in handy when they say, show us you're a fan. And I stood there, it was a TikTok, and I turned around and I said, I get to work in here every day. And I got a DM. Do you live within 120 kilometers? I said, does Oshawa count? They said, yes, it does. And I got tickets to the game. And then the day of the game, I was under the weather. And so George took a buddy. I didn't even get to go after all that. Yes, Rachel, it was on Facebook. For some reason, StreamYard and Facebook have decided not to talk today. And I can't stop to reset it for Facebook, or then it kicks it off YouTube and Instagram. So if I should make a note, you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to go through and say, if you ever try to find me on Facebook and there's a disconnect, I never seem to have a problem with the YouTube connection. It's always Facebook. So I will make a mention in my newsletters that go out that if for some reason there's a technical glitch and StreamYard can't talk to Facebook, head over to YouTube to find me. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, because this is how we learn and grow, right? This is the whole thing with the hobby of sweepstakes. You'll try something, it doesn't work, you try something else. There's new methods coming along all the time. There's new types of giveaways. There's new platforms. And, you try some things. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I've had people questioning their email. I said, well, do some A/B testing. Use this email for half and a new email for the other half, because someone has AOL and they said, well, I don't have any problems. And but I'm wondering. So, for the next 3 months, just use a Gmail for this and then just see if you start winning a ton on one of them and not the other. Maybe that's a clue, right? So you can play around with it, try different things. You never know. And that's how it is in life, right? I tried this with the video. It didn't work. Now Rachel makes a comment. Thank you very much. Now I'm like, oh, now I know I need to tell everybody. Sometimes these things are finagly. Check. Right? So that's how we all help each other grow. I'm very big on all boats rise with the tide. I'm very big on that, because I just like the idea of we're all winners. It's like going to the sweepstakes convention. It's literally a room of winners. There's 450 people, 500 people in a room, 500 people that have all won sweepstakes. And a lot of them have won big. And nobody tears anybody else down. Someone will say, well, I want a trip this year. And everyone goes, that's amazing. And someone says, well, I finally won a car. Yay. They're not like, well, that should have been me. No, that's not how it goes. Or they'll be excited and they'll say, okay, give me a little of your luck. I want to win the next car. Right? But nobody, it's just phenomenal to cheer each other on. And so that's what I really like about it. So I want you to get creative. So what I want you to start doing is, if you've got a really good, pie recipe, start filming the process before the contests. And your phones have the ability to make folders. So make folders, maybe call it recipes or, CGM, consumer generated media ideas. And then put those pictures and videos in that folder. So you don't have to scroll through 28,000 pictures to find what, your entries, the ones that you're going to use for an entry. If you spot really if your garden's coming up crazy amazing this year, start to, I guess it's a little late now, but if you've got fall colors, start filming some of that. Just see things through a marketer's eyes and start kind of making a portfolio on your phone. And if your phone gets too full, you can always upload them to the cloud or directly onto your computer hard drive. I have an external drive that I keep pictures on when my phone gets too full because I'm always filming, and I just take them off. I bought Costco had a deal on a drive, so I couldn't say no to that. Right? So I have like an 8 terabyte drive that I got on sale at Costco. I don't think they have it anymore. It's one of those things you come and go, and I just got lucky when I bought it. So, start a portfolio of things, like start having a marketer's eye. If you guys, Halloween's coming up. If your kids look super cute for Halloween, make sure you take pictures of them to enter them in a contest. Film yourself carving that pumpkin if you haven't done it already. Start now, because then even if you don't use them for this year, I'm pretty sure you might be able to use them next year. I remember Gwen at one of the conventions, her husband did this whole project where they cut apart something and then they used like Gorilla Glue in the whole process to put this thing together. And she filmed the whole process. She goes, I know they're going to have a creative contest one day, and we're going to use this video or slideshow to win that. Do you know anyone that won the HGTV sweepstakes? They're always running. Yes, I found a woman on TikTok, and she took the $250,000 alternative prize because they don't want to deal with the taxes. And I tried to get to interview her, and I can't. She wouldn't respond. Like she said at one point, she said, "Oh, that would be," and then she never answered me again. I tried to get her to email me, but she showed the video, and then you can see the video if you go to HGTV. They do show the winners, but I think most of them take the prize. I think there has been a couple of people that took the house and discovered it was unmanageable in the sense of the taxes or too big. And also for most people, the house is much larger than what they're accustomed to. So just maintaining a huge home, if you go from 1,000 square feet or 1,500 square feet, and now you have 8,000 square feet, that's a big jump. Property taxes, insurance, heat, hydro, water, all go way up. Maintenance, just everyday living. Like, you don't have one bathroom to clean, you have 5 or 6, right? You don't just have a little garden to pull weeds from. You have a front and a back and a pool, right? Like it just becomes exponential. And most people, they just can't, go up like that. And they have to be prepared for it. So I think there's been a couple people, then they ended up selling it. Because they couldn't do that. It was too hard. Let me see. Oh, yeah, this is a good tip. Even if the company said it's random, I still try and do good entry. I've had companies say, sorry, you didn't win random, but we loved your entry and still want to send you a gift. 100%. And also, because they're like, yeah, this is really good. And it's worth it. Now that's funny. I wonder if they would have a contest for the worst garden. I would win. Actually, I've seen contests like that. There was a furniture company in Canada at one point, and they wanted to see your worst couch, and that person would win a new couch. So, someone probably had a 1972 couch in their cottage or something and took a picture of it. So yeah, if you have something that's terrible, take pictures of it. You know, if you have that end table that everybody always makes fun of, but you can't get rid of it, take pictures of it because it might win a contest at some point. Oh, I always have the 5K giveaways going on and I always enter those, but I've never had any luck. Yeah, keep going though. Keep going because you will win. Like I know people that have won 10,000 multiple times. It is possible to win. Just keep going and see, like, so if you're say it's a recipe contest, for example, and you thought you had a really good entry, but you didn't win and it was judged, go and see who won. And sometimes they do first, second, and third. Go see those and why do you think they won? And then maybe make adjustments. So the next time you enter the similar type giveaway, that you can make the adjustments and win. No luck with HGTV or Hallmark. Also beware that things with HGTV, they actually pre-vet the winners. So they'll have a detective. I did an interview. I have a blog. It's on my business page. I have to get my business one done. But there's a detective that I met years ago, and she gets hired by the agencies to vet people. So if you read the HGTV rules, it says you are agreeing to a background check because they don't want an axe murderer winning their house. So they will pick like 10 potential winners, like in order, and then they'll have them all checked. And if the first one that they pick that should have been the winner has a really suspicious background, arrested 3 times for drunk driving, they're like, no, they go to the next one. So, yeah, they will do background checks on you because they want a certain image for their house, and you agree to it when you enter because it's in the official rules. So I did a blog post on, can an axe murderer win a sweepstakes? No. And that's why some contests have those clauses. How about some thumbs up on likes? Do you mean like right now on my stream? That would be nice. Or do you mean if somebody comments on your post and do you like that back? I'm not quite sure. That's funny. I appreciate the love. Okay, let's see. Did I get any last minute comments? Oh, thumbs up on you. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Yeah. I always laugh at the YouTubers because I feel like I'm a terrible YouTuber. Okay, smash that like button and hit that subscribe so you never miss a single video. Yeah. And now I have to figure out why Facebook it didn't connect anyway, but thank you for that. I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna fix up all the next live stream text, and I'm gonna include note if you do not see us on one of the channels, go to the other one, because it's Facebook that always seems to have the trouble and I have no idea why. Oh, one last tip before I go. If you go into your McDonald's and they do not have specially marked packages, they are legally not allowed to throw out pieces because, for example, this could have had the rare piece. Now, if they mucked up my order and they had to get me a new one, and they have a dirty cup, they can't throw it away because it's got pieces on it that could be a winner. So they cut them out. So if before you go through the drive-through, before you take off, look at your stuff. Like if your fries are supposed to have pieces on them and it's a regular fries box, but the Big Mac has, for example, right, has the pieces. you can say to them, hey, do you have any extra playing pieces? And they will give them to you. So just ask for those. So that's my last tip to maximize your winnings. Now, eventually they run out of those too. And it does say in the official rules until quantities last. So there you go. So I hope all those tips help you get creative, and, just keep your thinking cap on, because, you might get your best creative contest entry ideas when there's no contest to match it. Create it anyway, because you'll be amazed at what shows up and where you can use it. Like I said, I did show you Matthew's, and he created that years ago, and he didn't win that original contest with it years and years ago, but he entered it now and he won. So you never know. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yours doesn't give them. Well, maybe they don't have any, or they didn't have any left. Anyway, I did a video on it last year. And they posted, they were giving me pieces. I was showing they just cut it off the cup and handed it to me. So I don't know. Oh, she says, I don't think they care. They might not. But the biggest pieces were found. The big piece, the Winnebago piece, was found, and someone won $1 million instantly. So the two biggest prizes are gone, but it doesn't mean that there's not other pieces out there to be found. They're both ending soon. One's ending this week, one's ending the week after. So we'll see. But anyway, just get your thinking cap on, and you'd be amazed at what you can come up with. And take pictures of everything. You got Christmas coming up. If you're decorating the tree, film the process. Take pictures of your favorite ornaments. Zoom in on those Christmas cookies. And it doesn't matter if it's not Christmas, if it's, Hanukkah, there's, it's all family stuff, right? Take pictures of the food, take pictures of the candles, anything celebratory. That doesn't want to come out, does it? Celebratory. New Year's, just take pictures. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. She just put the score up. I'm not putting it up because I want this video to be evergreen. So yeah, anytime you have ideas, or you have a family event that you think is special, record it, and then start making folders on your phones for different. You can do it by holiday, you can do it by year, you can do it by idea. There's no limit to the number of folders you can have on your phone, and start putting those pictures and ideas in there. And sure enough, you're going to be ready when the next creative contest comes up. I think it's actually easier to enter creative contests now than it was back in the day, because we have so much technology available to us to make it easy to enter them. You just have to use your noodle and maybe learn a little bit of the technology, like how to edit pictures and into a video or something like that. So that's what I hope. And I hope some of you message me after this video and tell me what you won, putting your thinking cap on and getting a little bit creative, because we were all creative as kids and it kind of got schooled out of us. So we need to bring that spark back. All right. Until next time. And if you have any questions about sweepstakes, you don't have to wait a month to get an answer. Just email me at questions@contestqueen.com. That makes it easy.